What's up? It's Wednesday. It's another night for the Nostalgically Hip Podcast. Welcome back, Ryan.
Thank you, sir.
Let me tell you, we'll get into our topic here in a minute, but let me tell you, last night about 11:30, I got an email from the school saying there is a potential threat tomorrow. It's apparently some kid made a threat on the school saying he was going to bring a gun, or saying don't come to school tomorrow or you'll get shot, or some stupid shit, right? So it freaked Isabella out pretty bad. So I kept them home from school today. And boy, what a mistake that was. They were getting on my last freaking nerve, man.
It happens.
But I bring that up because whatever happened, you remember when we were going to school, you had a problem with somebody. You just meet out in the back parking lot or wherever, and you fight it out.
Yeah, what was the issue? Like, what do you mean? So was there some conflict and somebody was going to bring a gun to school to settle it?
It was the message that they sent was so vague that you just sitting there wondering, and that's exactly why I kept them home from school, because there wasn't enough information. And then they also said there will be increased police presence, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. I couldn't live with myself.
Well, we always have one cop on anyway, right?
Right.
So there's always at least one cop.
Yeah. They have a resource officer, but they had an increased, whatever that means. So then today, I guess about 10:30, there was another email sent out saying that they found the individual that made the comment, and it was deemed not a credible threat. However, more disciplinary action will be taken at a later date. But, man, the days that we live in now, because I can't go to school with them. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Well, the good thing is we have access entry here. So, you have the cameras up, you have the buzz to get in the doors. All the doors are locked. In order to get into the school, you always have to go through the office and be rerouted back out. So there's actually no way in. It's not like that everywhere. And when I was in Vegas, which is crazy, Vegas didn't have access entry. Anybody could just walk in.
Really?
A lot of the time, side doors were open. Yeah, they didn't. And my buddy, who's still, he lives out there, and he actually works in that, kind of like controlled systems and stuff like that. He says, I don't know why they don't do it. It's not that much. It's real simple to do. And I've told him we do it, and he's kind of shocked that we're doing it, and they're not.
Huh, yeah, that is kind of...
Yeah. Well, even when I was in Kansas City, North Kansas City, we were kind of in an area with like 5,000 people. Was all only a elementary, high school, and a junior high, and they all had access entry. And you're just routed. You're literally routed into the principal's office. You have to go to the office, and you have to go through there before you can go into the school.
Honestly, man, that's kind of the way nowadays to go.
Sure.
Everywhere should be that way. Because, like I said, I can't be there. You can't be there to protect your kids. It's unreasonable. The schools are trying, but, I'm pissing people off and say, I need to put damn handguns on teachers.
Yeah, they do. The only issue with that is I've spoken with a few teachers, and some just aren't comfortable with that, and that's fine.
Right.
But some will be.
But they'll be the first ones to fucking call for help.
Absolutely. When the shit, yeah, and it's hard to say. Some people, I think, don't mind being victims. They just pure and simple. Right. They like to be victims. If it comes to that, they don't mind being even that sort of a victim. But you're right. There should be, like, here we always have a police officer. In my son's high school, he goes to that just right down the street there, and it's fairly new. There is an actual police, like a office. Like, he's got his own.
Really?
So, yeah. Just sits there and he's got his own office, and there's always the car out front. And I know it, where our kids used to go last year, the elementary, they had that, they had an officer always in there. He was a bit older.
Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
That's Carl Newpert's dad.
Okay.
Crazy Carl.
Okay.
He pops in every now and then, and he's batshit crazy. No, he's not. But he never shuts up.
Yeah, he talks. Yeah. He can talk.
But I remember, man, when I was in high school, we had resource. We had a St. Louis County cop that was there every day. But also when I was in the year before I went to Parkway South Middle, I was in sixth grade. Yeah, so when I was in sixth grade, it was the year before I went to South Middle. They had a kid bring a gun in and kill himself in school. Now, he didn't shoot anybody else, but he killed himself.
He said school's the place to do this.
I guess. And the story was that he was pretty severely bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just said, fuck it. He had it and ended it.
Yeah, see, dude, I think that's, I was always, my wife would get mad at me all the time, but I was pro-suicide because I always seen people that were going to kill themselves as they're going to do it. The problem that bothered me is somebody who's capable of doing it sometimes. I always thought, well, they're capable of hurting others. Maybe not all the time. But I think now it may be, especially in people under 20, a case. Now they're getting fame from it. They're getting that acknowledgement.
Yeah, it's a way to get attention.
Yeah, now I'm not saying that because I do know people whose kids have killed themselves, and it's terrible. It's terrible. But I would rather have them just like you said. The guy say, I got bullied. I'm just going to kill myself instead of kill a bunch of, 20 more students. And
yeah, from that aspect, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Don't take anybody else out. Just, it sucks what you're going through. And it's statistically proven that males are more successful and females are more successful at attempts, meaning, hey, I'm crying out for help.
Mm-hmm. It's almost always about pussy too. It really is. It's like, you find me a good mass shooting, I'll find a guy that didn't get enough pussy. Or wanted pussy.
Or any pussy.
Or any pussy. It's funny because remember back, they used to read those manifestos a lot and it always had something. And then this bitch wouldn't talk to me. It's like, there you go.
I'm telling you, pussy's the root of all evil.
That was what, remember Evel Knievel said that. He said,
did he really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said it on the Jim Rome show. And Rome was just laughing his ass off and he goes, it's fucking evil.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, you love them. You can't help it, but God bless. And it all started with Eve.
Sure didn't. It just keeps going.
She ruined it ruined it forever.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing because I think some people in their heads, like, especially when you reach that puberty age, you get that okay, I want this girl, but she won't talk to me. And we've all dealt with that. Like, hey, this girl's maybe out of my league, or maybe it's hard to get. I want this, but I can't have it.
Or you're too scared or shy to go out you're a kid.
Yeah, but there's other elements, and just, hey, it's not meant to be. It's just the way it is what it is. You might not have a yacht someday either, and you're going to have to learn to deal with that. And dude, a lot of it, I think, started, for me, at least I started noticing it more. Everybody will say social media. But what I can recall a change was the American dream. People would always tell you can be anything you want in this country. You can do whatever. And if you don't, then you have nothing but yourself. And in American Idol, you see, and if you watched American Idol back in the day, I don't know if it's still on, but in the day when it was on, there were people that couldn't fucking sing. And I was always blown away that a family member or a friend didn't say, you fucking suck. Dude, if you're my friend and you suck and you're like, and you sing around us at a campfire or something, I'll listen to you. But if you say, I think I'm going on American Idol, I'll go, hey, Andy, as your friend, you should not do this.
And if you didn't do that, I wouldn't be friends with you any longer.
Absolutely. But there were people on there that my mom says I'm great, and they'd sing, and it's like, you're fucking terrible. Your mom hates you.
Your mom probably said you're cute too. You ugly sack of shit.
I mean, there's a time to be real. And so when I kind of started seeing that happen was we were telling kids, there's participation awards and shit like that. But those shows were telling everybody the most important thing in life is money and fame. And you can be anything you want to be in this country. But the reality is you fucking can't. Some of us are Patrick Mahomes, and the rest just aren't.
The rest of us are Colin Kaepernick.
We're fucking Colin Kaepernick. We're kneeling and trying to get attention that way. But dude, it's true, and we were putting so much pressure. And I started seeing it then. Like, you're telling these kids all the time, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can be anything you want to be, and then they realize I can't sing, or American Idol is a good one for me because it's like this person can't sing, but this person can, and they're having a struggle dealing with it. They think they're really good. There's no self-awareness there,
Right.
and then I think you're setting them up for failure. And the next resort, because some people I played ball with people like that in little leagues when they wanted to be a pitcher, but they just weren't good, and they would walk off the field, and you could see they took it harder than what they should have taken it. They just weren't good. They thought they should be up there, though. And now, I just think we set them up for failure. Like, you can be anything, and then they realize they can't, and it's like, well, fuck it. Then I'll get famous this way.
You know, it's funny. Liam and I were having this conversation the other day. He's getting really good, but he doesn't feel that he is, right? Mm-hmm. He's in his head a lot. And I told him, I said, son, listen, you have improved immensely. You're doing really well. And trust me, if you weren't any good, I would tell you, hey, buddy, maybe you need to find something else because baseball ain't your thing.
Yeah. Have you tried hopscotch?
Right.
After the fucking chalk.
I heard reading's great.
Reading's really good. Yeah. Maybe you're good at math. Because if you're not good at ball, you're probably good at math.
He actually is good at math too. Okay,
there you go. You can do both.
But he's got to find some confidence is what it is. And I think if the difference between confidence and cocky, once he finds that confidence, I think I told him, I said, I'm predicting you're getting a home run this year. Mm-hmm. He's like, I already have a home run. I said, yeah, but that was an inside the park. I'm predicting you're going to crank one out. Because, dude, he's been crushing it I take him every week. I have a coach for him. And he's crushing it, man. He's went and he's tried out for two different select teams. He's passed. But due to politics and that stupid shit, those travel teams are horrible. I'm glad they didn't take him, to be honest, just because of the politicking and the peacocking and well, I paid this much money, so I have it. No, you fucking don't. Shut up. Your kid is no better than mine. As a matter of fact, my kid's actually better than yours. So sit down with your money there, fucking money bags. But it's just, you're right, man. And we have to be honest with our kids because you're going to set them up for failure. Yeah.
Everybody's good at something, I think.
Sure.
Maybe the reality is remember they used to tell us, no one's stupid. And the fact is that there's a lot of fucking stupid people. There just is. And no offense, maybe your brains aren't your thing. I know a lot of dumb people. They're just strong as shit. Maybe they're good fighters.
Right.
Maybe they're good at baseball or sports. Maybe they can run really fast. But
hell of Marines.
Yeah. Hell of Marines. Yeah. They're in the Navy a lot. No, those are the gay ones. Never mind.
Stop it.
But there's nothing wrong with I always got a kick out of I knew this guy back in Vegas. He was a smaller guy, but he didn't want his son to be like that. And it's like, well, the ceiling's only going to be so high there. He's not going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Did he also believe that he could transform into a woman if he wanted to?
Probably. Yeah, probably at this point. I know he dyed the shit out of his hair, so I didn't think he was 60.
I'm not great at anything, but I'm pretty good at a lot of things.
Well, that's better, but at least you know your limitations, right?
Right.
And that's kind of the thing is that, it's like I was going with that is this guy was giving his kid in college breast milk, and he had him on all kinds of hormones because he just refused to let his kid be that size. But the reality, I always would make a joke about it.
What the breast milk?
Yeah. He was unpacking breast milk, and they moved him into his dormitory. It had got back to me that they were unpacking, and somebody asked, "What's this?" And he's like, "Well, that's my breast milk. My dad makes me take it because it had better hormones or some shit in it."
Was it his dad's breast milk?
No, dude, probably. It was that thing. Your son's not meant to be big. And I would always joke and say, "Well, maybe why can't he be a horse jockey?" And everybody would laugh, and I'm like, "No, why can't he be a fucking horse jockey? You're not going to be." So, dude, I was...
I think I figured it out.
Thumbs up. People are giving you a thumbs up.
Yeah. No, if there's They
liked it.
No, so Lou was... I think it was Lou was showing me this the other night. Something in the camera, if it'll pick it up, a certain movement or something, it'll pop up. And then he did some other shit like that, and fireworks showed up. And it was weird. So I think I finally got
there you
that
go.
figured
No, we
out.
just got a thumbs down.
Oh, well, fuck yourself then.
It's delayed, right? Now it's going over there. But anyhow, so long story short, that's about what it is, man. Why does your kid have to be the biggest guy in the world? Why does he have to be? And that was just a head thing, right? It was all in this guy's head. Why does he have to be a bigger guy than you? You're not a big guy. You've lived your whole life. But it was funny because he would ask this other buddy of ours things all the time, like, "Hey, how did it go with girls when you were smaller and stuff?" He'd be like, "I did fine," But well, he's really bothered by.
Holy insecurity, Batman.
Yeah, that's what it is, 100%. Yeah. Instead of building your son up and saying you'll be great at whatever it is you are and accept who you are, but it carries all the way to parents sometimes. And I think that's where we start to see that, kids start to notice maybe my parents aren't happy with me, so I'm unhappy with me. I need to be something, prove something. And they just realize, man, that like I'm not special. Right. I got news for a lot of you fucking kids out there. You're not special. A lot of people, you're not fucking special. You're just not. And
I disagree. You're plenty special, just not in the right way.
Right. It's like I always say, I go, we get on politics a lot, but it's like 50% of the country voted for 81 million people voted for Joe Biden. Like they didn't see what some of us were seeing.
No comment. My dad used to sum it up great. He had a great way of putting me back in check every time I complain about something. Say, I'm short, whatever, He'd say, well, boy, the world needs ditch diggers too.
Yeah, that's my dad said it all the time.
All the time.
Someone's got to do that shit.
Yeah.
Someone's got to give you your fucking McDonald's, right?
Well, apparently we have plenty of people coming across the border now that can do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hot. Oof.
Yeah.
It's getting ugly down there, but I'm not going down that road tonight. Maybe later.
Yeah. Did you hear about the budget though? They released the details on it.
No.
Yeah. So there was two. They did the Washington Post one on it and counted up articles on one of the shows I was watching. Counted up articles, or not articles, paragraphs, and there was 18 paragraphs in the Wall Street Journal, and within the fourth paragraph they mentioned the fees, the actual what it set at, and I want to say it was $60 billion to Ukraine. There was like another additional 20 to Israel. And then only 20 for the border.
Yeah, go figure, huh?
Yeah, and then so that's why it didn't pass. But I'll tell you, the Republicans didn't pass it. But he was laundering money again, which we know Biden's an expert at laundering money. So then they went to the Washington Post and counted, and there was 24 paragraphs, and they didn't mention the actual deal with the numbers until like the 18th. So you can see how the media. They don't want you to see that shit. They don't because they fucking know it's wrong. It's a border deal, but the money that they wanted to go was to protect Ukraine and their borders, not our borders.
Exactly.
Yeah, 3 times the money was going to Ukraine to protect their borders. So he's just doing what he does best. He launders money.
I am done with Democrats. Not all Democrats, mind you, but these extreme hardcore liberals that back this guy just because he's the party that they chose, regardless of the harm that he's doing in this country. And they're just freaking delusional, completely delusional.
Well, they were captured. I mean, they literally were. It's a party that was for sale. I think they made it clear that they were for sale. And people rushed in, big tech, pharmaceutical companies, and bought them. And that's what it is. It's like a going out of business sale. We're no good at what we do. It wasn't looking good for them in the early 2000s. It wasn't looking good at all. And I think they just said, we'll sell and to the highest bidder. And I mean, you can look at it and see that. So
it's ridiculous, man. It's everybody in that party in the DC area is all about me, money, power, fuck the people. Basically.
Yeah, and
but
it's so
I'll tell you what you want to hear to get your vote. And I'll turn around and do the exact opposite.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's so obvious. It's just so it's not even hidden anymore. No. That's why I don't think it can change, because people say, well, I think we're going to make a change. It's like it can't, because people already know what it is. They just don't fucking care. They've picked a team. They don't care if their quarterback rapes women. It's still their quarterback. And
right. It doesn't.
They don't care anymore. It's like I said last week. It's not about scoring and us scoring points and getting and winning a game. It's about who can block the other opponent. And that's all it is. We don't want to score. We want to block.
It's past the point of turning a blind eye. It's exactly what you said. They don't care. It's in your face. They know it. We know it, and they don't care. And they will continue to do it. So I agree, man. The two-party system is, number one, it's antiquated anyway, but it's broke.
Yeah.
I don't see a fix.
Yeah, we had I've listened to people. Some of my buddies said, I don't vote. Fuck it. System's broke. Fuck it. I'm not playing a sham to it. It's a fucking joke. And a lot of people get mad at that or got a question. Well, I don't think giving up is the answer. And my take is always the same thing. Well, what is the fucking answer? And if you want to sit here and talk me into voting, then you're probably talking me into voting for Biden. Because right now, as it stands, I would vote for Joe Biden. No one else cares, then I don't either. Let's run this motherfucker into the ground, and I'll help get it there faster. I want to see an 86-year-old president. This guy looks this fucking bad right now. What do we have left in the laugh? I want to laugh. I want to laugh for the last 4 years this country's around. I want to see that guy being fucking with a hand on the back of his head, moving his mouth.
You're already seeing it.
Yeah, you're pretty much seeing it, but I really want to see it. I want to see him nosedive. I want to see all of this good shit that comes with that. So when people go, well, you should vote. Well, I wouldn't fucking vote for anybody but Biden anyway. Honest to God, dude, I'd fucking go vote Biden. Fuck it.
I don't vote in the national election. I vote locally.
That would be the way to vote, but I don't know. And I'm not the guy, dude, that's going to go vote. If I don't know enough, I'm not going to vote because I'm not going to, pick blue no matter who kind of guy or however they do
exactly.
that. And I'm not going to research it. I don't fucking care enough, you know?
I do when it comes to like the school district and that type of, because that directly affects us. National politics, even on the state level, I don't care as much, but local for sure, because our vote will have a say.
Yeah, definitely at a local level. If you're going to do it, that's the best way to do it. Once it's made it to the White House, it's fucked. If you're voting for president, it's just a fucking we had a reality star in there last time. I mean, that's all you need to know. You know, they can't get shit done. They don't do anything they say they're going to do. Everything that gets, look at DeSantis. He did actually do some shit. You know, so that's a good choice. Why Florida would ever want him to leave, I don't know. I want that guy to keep coming back and be involved there. And it needs to go state to state levels now and fuck the rest of fuck it federally, right? On the federal level. I mean, it's such a sham. You got a guy up there that cares less about any of the shit that he says, woke politics, than he would ever want. But he's saying it because he wants you to vote for him. And there's no integrity involved at all. And that's on both sides, dude. None of the motherfuckers have any integrity.
Yeah, I don't like either party. The only reason that I would want to see Trump back in office is exactly what you said about Biden. He's fucking comedic gold.
Yeah.
Whether you like him, don't like him, or just want to make fun of him.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
I'll take either one, dude. But at this point, I'm kind of looking, you know, they always say, oh, there's a new, you know, like if a black guy gets elected or something. Oh, the first black man. They always do that. I want to be around when they say first fucking president to die at the podium. You know?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what's going to happen if we vote Trump back in?
He's no spring chicken either.
Well, he'll be fine. I think he's alert. He'll be fine. But it could happen. Definitely could happen. But for sure, Biden's going to die in office. For sure. I mean, he's going to. I mean, I'm not saying I want that. I'd hate to see that. I obviously don't want to see our elected leader die in office, but he's going to. It's not looking good between now and November.
Right.
It's just not looking good. If I was a betting man, I'd place bets that, you know, I mean, look at him.
The Democratic Party is so there's plots. There's definite plots because who in their right mind? How can you not see? let's get this guy out of office. Was it 27th Amendment, 25th or 27th? I can't remember.
That's the thing. And that's why they're all fucking friends. The only one they're not friends with is Trump. And that should tell people everything they need to know. There was a guy on a podcast I listened to, it was Michael Malice, about a year ago. And he was in Congress for a while. And Malice asked him, said, is it scripted? Because it looks scripted. And he said, it's definitely scripted. He goes, they actually hand you paper, tell you what you're going to talk about. You argue about things. They get it started. You get it going. And at the end of it, they shut the cameras off. And we all go out to dinner. The Dems come over to the right and the right to the left. And they're all, where are you going to eat dinner? Where are you going to, buddies? They're fucking buddies. And that is where Trump comes in. Because if you hate the system, then you should be voting for Trump, because there's a fucking reason they don't want him in.
Yeah, he doesn't play the game.
He doesn't play the game, and they can't have that. And that explains why, like, even the Republicans turn against him. The only reason they go with him is you hear that rhetoric of he's taken over the Republican Party is no longer the Republican Party. It's the party of Trump. In a way, thank God, because the Republican Party was on its way to being the next Democratic Party anyway.
Oh, it's pretty much there.
Yeah, but he fucking took it from them and took it another direction, and they had to go along or they lose votes. That's how powerful his movement was. His base is phenomenal, even though half of them are deplorables. They're all racist.
Well, I guess that we're included in that because we're anti-Hillary and anti-Biden, so I guess we're deplorable.
Yeah, I'm anti all of them, dude. Honest to God, man, if I thought about this today, if I was going to vote, who would I vote for? Well, it's for sure not Biden. We had a caller a couple weeks back, ask us, and I said, well, it's definitely not Biden. I mean, that should be step number one. Who don't you like? When you test. Right. Okay, well, it's not B, because that doesn't make any sense at all. That's Biden. That you can't vote him in. So that leaves it to me between Trump and RFK. And then I started thinking, well, because I like entertainment and I like to see, I don't want to give up the fight, right? A lot of people are like, I just don't want Trump in there and have to go through it. Fuck them. What are you, scared of listening to him bitch for another 4 years? Fuck them. If they're bitching, look, if they're upset, if all the wokesters and everybody out there is upset, then it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't give up the fight because they keep bitching. This isn't your wife. You don't need to go up to the room. Fuck them. Just whatever. And so that would be the way I'd go Trump. But the other way would be if it was RFK, it'd be because I think there's some things I don't like about him. His gun. He's not a gun guy. He never has been. He's not a big border guy. I don't know much about his policies, but I think it'd be neat to see where the whole vaccine shit would go. I'd like to see what would happen with that if he was in power. That's one of the reasons why they can't let him get in, because there's going to be, at that point, probably a lot of people going to jail.
Yeah, he's if I recall correctly, he's very anti-vaccine, or at least the
yeah, that's what he's built. He was a lawyer for that, so he's built his entire life based around that. And
is she bothering you?
No, she's fine.
Okay.
But it definitely wouldn't be Biden. It would be between RFK, and at that point, what's the fucking lesser of the evils? Honestly, it's probably, if you want to ruffle some feathers, you go Trump. If you want to go to the lesser of the evils, and if you really care, you probably go RFK. But then he's probably not going to win.
Right.
So again, dude, I'm not going to get in a fucking quarrel about, hey, Andy, what do you think I should eat for lunch tomorrow? And you guys vote, and then I'll throw in the mixer. We'll do this or that, and then I'll have a salad, and you guys pick. No, I'm not letting you do that. I'm not playing part of that. So,
who do you think? There's lots of speculation and rumors out there right now. Who do you think Trump's going to pick for his VP?
I think it's going to be Vivek.
You think so?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know who he'd like to pick. They said RFK. I think he said he's been asked twice.
He's definitely in the rumor mill. There was a female.
I don't know if I believe that, but I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean,
probably hates Trump.
I think he'd love to ask Tulsi Gabbard. I think he's probably talked about that a lot, and they don't want to do that.
That I could get on board with that.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it'll be Vivek. The reason why, dude, is because that guy.
He's almost a carbon copy.
And if you're going to go to battle, like Trump is going to have to go to battle for 4 years. We've seen it already. It's going to be worse the next time around. He's not getting in anyway, but he'll be dead before that happens. But if he's going to get in, he's the guy that's going to back you. He's going to back you like a bulldog and then some, right? So he's going to defend you, which Pence didn't really do.
He didn't do
shit.
You never heard of the guy.
Pence did a lot that was negative, and a lot of the shit, a lot of the stuff that fell back on Trump, and we could go on and on about it, but it had to do with the vaccines, had to do with the COVID lockdowns, that was Pence's job, and he fucked Trump in a lot of ways. He was giving his buddies work, and Trump didn't know about it because he didn't know how to really work the system. He's said several times since that had I known what I know now, there's a lot of people I would have fired, there's a lot of people I would have hired. But at the time, I didn't really, there was so much going on. And there was. He had an economy. He had the COVID thing coming in. He kind of lost track of things. But Vivek is going to go to bat for him. And not only go to bat for him, he's going to probably double down and go harder. And that's a good thing for him because, and then not only that, but I think you got a young guy in there, 35. He gets some experience. And then when Trump's done, you maybe get another 8 years.
And he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
Like
Kids
Trump.
like him. The young people like him.
Well, and that's the great thing about being a billionaire. There's a slight chance he could be doing this for, obviously personal gain, but he doesn't need to. He's set for life monetarily. It's like Trump going in. He sees a problem and I want to fix it. And I really respected the fact about Trump donating his salary back to the government. He didn't take his presidential salary the whole time he was in.
Well, he'd already done his thing. He wanted to win again. He's a narcissist. We all know that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The guy I'm most impressed with, honestly, is DeSantis.
I like DeSantis a lot.
I mean, he was a Yale graduate, goes Harvard, then he goes to Yale. Then he could have got a fucking job anywhere, joins the military, gets in there. He didn't need to go into public service. He could have been doing anything he wanted, but he did and took a pay cut. And
that's the true definition of a patriot in my eye.
And that's why I say it sucks in a way that he didn't get a real legit opportunity. And really, again, dude, all it comes down to is a popularity contest and whoever they support and whoever's got the money. He couldn't get the money. Everyone's on Trump's dick all the time, and he didn't stand a chance. And it's a shame because I think that while he was new to this, maybe not as smooth and polished as a lot of those guys are.
Right.
Although I thought he did good in a lot of them. He is what he's probably what this country needed. Now, what he could get done inside that fucking machine, I don't know, because I think it's a machine that pretty much just runs on itself now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at. We're in a system that has been doing it so long that it just is. It's like
it's automated. It runs itself.
Yeah. It's like that fucking Saw, that movie Saw, where he like builds a machine, but now the machine's been operating so long it just works on itself, and now it's making other machines.
Oh, AI. Is that what you're saying?
AI. Well, it's kind of what it is.
Yeah, totally what it is.
But, anyhow.
It's so obvious that there are powers behind the curtain running the show.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I mean, just the fact that we've got this, and I hate disrespecting the office. I'm not disrespecting the office. I'm disrespecting Biden. He's just horrible. He's a horrible person. Not only is he a horrible president, but he's a horrible person, man. Mm-hmm. And when you've been in politics that long, and you say you're going to fix shit, dude, you're the problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the border thing.
Yeah.
Look, if you go back and you look at that deal, you can clearly see he's not trying to protect the border. He wants to launder money over to freaking Ukraine. And then the best part of anybody who thinks that, irrelevant to what you think, there are criminals coming in. And let's just say that they're not. You still have to protect your borders. But even if you don't believe in that, the idea that some state says, hey, we're down here, we're the ones that have to deal with it, let us put up our own wall, They put the razor wire up, and he not only says, okay, fine, you deal with it. He sends people down there to fucking start snipping it.
Right.
Guys, what does that fucking tell you? He could just not do anything, but he can't do that. He has to fucking, he wants that happening. You wouldn't do it.
The sad part, the truly sad part, is a lot of Americans think he's doing the right thing. I know for sure he doesn't think he's doing the right thing. He's doing whatever the fuck he wants. Mm-hmm. Period. He knows his time on this earth is limited. And
he's collecting. Who knows why he's doing what he does? But there's a part of me that wonders. One of the reasons Trump got impeached the second time was because he made a phone call to Ukraine. And he said, I'll send money, but I need you to get information on Hunter Biden. Now, again, Trump, he knew a lot of shit that we're just now finding out. The reason why he wanted that information, because he knew that they were corrupt. They were making dealings. The whole time that he was in office with Obama, he was making deals. And he was laundering money through that country. If you see the money that they're giving now, you got to think,
well, let's not even
having them launder money for his family for the rest of their fucking generations.
Oh yeah. Because
why is there constant worry about that? Why are we so involved? Are you telling me that you have people fucking that can't eat here? You know, he's lost the black vote. I listened to a black guy the other day come up and say, "Yeah, I loved it," because he was real straightforward. They go, "Why? Who'd you vote for?" And he goes, "Trump." And he goes, "Why?" And he goes, "Because I had more shit." And I was like, there you go. That's just a guy on the street, and he's just telling you, I don't have anything, and look at your fucking grocery bills, dude. Mine are up about $125 now a week.
Guess who the number one what's the word I'm looking for? The number one exporter of oil in the world is now.
Exporter? It's going to be Russia.
Nope. It is now us, thanks to Biden. Depleting our reserves. We are the number one exporter of oil now. So
Trump, that saved his ass, because remember, he was against that. They didn't want those oil reserves. What would they have, 50 billion barrels or something like that?
I don't know, some crazy amount.
And thank God we did. Because when the gas prices got up, that allowed him to keep the gas prices fairly low. But I think that's all gone now, isn't it? Isn't it gone? Damn close.
If it's not, it's close. But, and again, that's some of the shit that your standard media outlets will not tell you. You got to dig and look for that stuff.
Yeah, you have to do it for all of it. They don't want you to know it. It's a concerted effort. I always say this. It's not. People say the mainstream media. It's the corporate media. It is another branch of the government now.
Oh, for sure.
It's damage control. It's damage control for the government. It's
a propaganda machine. Is all it is.
Right. We talked about what's his name? Noam Chomsky. I can't think of his name right now, but he said it's manufacturing consent, and that's what they do. They need you to think a certain way, and they tell you what to think. Hey, we need to go to this war. We need to do this. Hey, we need to get rid of these oil reserves. We need to do that. We need to send money to the Ukraine. And they all get behind it, and they convince you that's a good thing to do. But if you research it, if you can, it's real hard now. I've looked for videos that I've seen other people put up of Biden, and then I look for them on my own, and I can't find them.
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Shadow banning like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's on purpose. It's intentional, and they are another branch of the government now.
When I go to look up my news, I go outside of the country. Surprisingly, Al Jazeera is pretty reliable.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Well, anyone that hates us is going to be it's going to be real reliable.
It's very disturbing that I have to go and get reliable news from my enemies.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Yeah. Let's talk about, did we talk about the Ilhan Omar thing last week?
Yeah.
I have not heard back from my congressman yet. And I'm a tad bit upset about that.
Yeah.
It's about time to send another email.
Yeah, did you hear about the tampons in the boys' restroom in Connecticut?
No.
Yeah, they put up. It was a school. I think 10 and 13-year-olds. So I'd say probably junior high. They put a tampon box in the boys' restroom, and I mean, think about that. Boys don't have periods.
Why?
So you're going along with this. This is obviously a movement to ruin the truth. If you can ruin the truth, then you can go with anything at that point. But the idea that they did it's crazy. But kudos to those kids because they ripped it off the fucking wall, drywall, all down to the bare studs.
Well played, gentlemen.
And there's a picture on the internet. You can find it. They took it and fucking stuck it upright in a toilet.
Well played, gentlemen.
Yep.
Well played.
God bless you. Bless your hearts.
I think you need a raise in your allowance for that one.
Right. But anyhow, even these kids are like, nope. But you got that shit going on now. A lot of people don't think it's for real. We've talked about it. If it's happening in our school board, we're in a tiny little area, guys. There's no reason to be doing it here if you're not doing it in California first, and they are doing it here. That tells you what they're doing in California. Yep. And you can look around now and see what's happening. I see it on a daily basis now.
My son is 12 years old and knows how big of an idiot Biden is. And it hasn't been from me because I don't talk politics around the kids. And if anything, I would say you need to respect the office of the presidency. He's 12 years old and he knows this dude's a fucktard.
Yeah, dude, I hate that. And that's what's so hard for me because even with Obama, I didn't follow a whole lot during that period because I kind of knew what it was. And it was what it was. It was an identity politic thing. He was a great speaker. Didn't do a whole lot. He had 8 years and he did nothing with it. People forget that there was a statistic that there was no raises given. Nobody got any pay raises in 8 years that he was in office.
Yeah, the military, we sure as fuck didn't get a pay raise the whole time.
Yeah, and he not only that, but took your ammunition, took your weaponry. But you back your president. You just do, and out of respect.
I tell you, you say that
until Trump got in. I mean, I think that, honest to God, man, as much as I appreciate what Trump did, he did do some good things. I appreciated his talk. I thought that was good. He was because PC speech was coming in, he was kind of trampling it. He kind of gave less credibility to the presidency a bit, and now you get a guy now you can just say, hey, throw an 86-year-old in there.
I tell you, I did not like the fact when all this "he's not my president" shit was going around, regardless of the side. You know, there were a lot of people saying, well, Obama's not my president. I never once said that.
No, I didn't either.
Because guess what? He is your president.
Yeah,
you don't have to like it, but he's your president.
Yeah, and I can remember I actually, when he won, I was, me and my wife were sitting down and we were watching the election and he won early. That first, when he first took it, we were like, well, didn't expect that, but maybe this will make a change. Maybe this is what we needed. And I stand by what I say so often. I think it changed everything for the worse. And I told Beth, I said, I could do a diagram or I could do the strings, the yarn, and I could point it all back to him and not him directly.
His administration
and his presence. His presence did so much. And you would have thought that we all would have been, yay, now we can all get along. But what it did was...
He started the divide.
He started the divide by not saying shit a lot of time. I remember when police were getting killed, he could have said, hey, there's hope. I know you're upset, but look at me. I'm in the White House. And he never said, he just shut up.
The biggest reason I'm disappointed with him is because he had all the potential in the world to do great things.
He did nothing.
Not a damn thing, except Obamacare, which fucked a lot of people.
He is the epitome of an opportunist to me. He is a guy that knew he could speak well, knew he'd get elected, and thought the timing was right. He still does it. If you got a book deal, I think they probably released 2 books since we've been talking, right? They release a book daily. And you can always tell because they'll come out of the woodwork and you'll hear them on some talk show. And then next thing you know, there's a book in the fucking New York Times. They release a book, no shit. And they're like James Patterson. They're fucking rolling books out. And that's all he wants to do is make a ton of money before he goes. The guys that don't like capitalism, right?
Right. Or say they don't.
Yeah, say they don't, are the biggest capitalist.
I tell you the biggest difference for me is that I didn't like his policies. I didn't like his politics, but I would 100% sit down and drink a beer with the dude. As opposed to Trump, I
don't think I could.
I could.
How?
Because
no one in the world, Andy, has ever talked to you like that while you're having a beer with him.
No.
Nobody in the fucking world talks like that guy, by the way. It was like a sermon.
Now, let me be clear. We're going to sit down. We're going to drink a beer. And if you like your beer, you can keep your beer.
Waitress?
I bet you.
Waitress.
I bet you $1,000 he's not like that. He's like that as a public persona, but I bet you if he were sitting here right now, he'd be saying fuck and pussy, and I think he's a regular dude when it comes down to it. I think his views on a lot of shit are fucked up, and I don't like it, but I think I can get along with him as a person. Mm-hmm. Trump, he's an asshole. I wouldn't like that dude. I wouldn't want to sit down with him for nothing, but that's okay because I don't have to like him. He's doing the job.
I always said that. I had my brother liked him so much, and I said, dude, I get it. As a president, you like what he kind of stands for at times. I get it. I go, you realize if you were, first off, he wouldn't let you into the Mar-a-Lago, dude. This motherfucker wouldn't want you walking down the street in front of the Mar-a-Lago. If you were on fire, this guy, he wouldn't pull you from a burning car. No. This guy, if you showed up at a party and he had your good-looking girlfriend with you, that dude's hitting on your girl.
100%.
100%. Doesn't give a fuck. I mean, but it is what it is. We understand. What always kills me is that we put, and this goes back to the Haley thing. She's cheating on her. She was having affairs on her husband. Who fucking cares? I don't give a fuck what Nikki Haley does in her prime time. It doesn't matter to me, and it doesn't matter to me what Trump's doing, and it doesn't matter to me what Biden's doing. And you can't like Buttigieg. I don't give a fuck what Buttigieg is doing. I don't need to hear about it all the time. I don't need to hear about what anybody else is doing. I don't fucking care. Do your job and do it right, and that's what we expect. But what I love about Americans most, it's always been like this, dude. They need you to be married. They need you to be more honest than them, way better than them. They need you to go to church. It used to be really bad, right?
Right.
You need to live on this. I should never tell a lie. You never told a fucking lie. That guy. That's what they wanted. I need you to be 10 times better than me. I'm not going to live like that, but I need you to live like that.
I expect you. Mm-hmm. I demand it. Yeah, totally, man. But that shit's all gone by the wayside now. It's like high school. It's a popularity contest. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's that presidential mentality. And I remember when Trump was going in, because I was behind him 100% right from the get-go, because I was an 80s guy. And I was like, fuck, I hope he gets in just because he's fucking part of that 80s. He's always in movies. And he was like the Prince Charles and Diana when him and Ivanka were in, right?
Yeah, well, he was a Democrat for years.
Yeah.
Years and years and years.
He's part of that gang, dude.
I'll bet you any amount of money that if he came out tomorrow and said, I've had a lot of time to think with all of these court cases and whatnot, I'm going back to being a Democrat. They would be on board. They would fall over themselves trying to get on board just because he's a Democrat now.
All it would take, he wouldn't even need to do that. He could just go one day, he could virtue signal.
Yeah.
He'd just virtue signal and say, out of the blue over nothing, I was at the park today and I saw a swastika on the sidewalk and then take a million pictures of it and post it, and I got to clean this up. And they'd be like, oh God, he must be good.
Right.
Just all they need is something like that phony.
I had a wonderful conversation with a transgender. We bonded. I understand completely now. I'm a changed man. Believe me. Meanwhile, in the back, in the limo, he's like, well, I got them fuckers fooled, don't I?
I got this thing. Can we still post shit up here?
On what? Like, yeah, send it to me.
I'll send it to you. Post this up. This is true.
It's true. It's true.
I got this today.
China. You know who I'd like to see run just for shits, for pure comedy sense.
All right, I just sent it. So I don't know if you can put that up there, dude, but if you can, this is true. I think Rip Curl just did it over in Australia too. This is how big this is, dude.
What the fuck?
Did you hear about Rip Curl? We talked about that last weekend,
No.
where the girl that got her arm bit off by the shark?
No, we did not.
Yeah, she got her arm bit off by the shark. She was their spokesperson forever. It's a surf clothing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the brand.
Yeah, so she came out and said she didn't like men and women's sports, and they they fucking fired her shortly after that. And now they got a dude in a swimsuit. He's like in their magazine, but this is real. I don't know the name of the company. Maybe you can pull it up, but somebody tweeted this out today, and my buddy sent it to me. So
give me 1 second. Give me a second. We'll get it up here. This is ridiculous.
But at least play the game, like, right?
Play the game. Wasn't that was that a Queen song?
Probably it fucking sounds like a Kansas song.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Can we see this? Is it on?
Give me 1
Okay.
second. Bam! There it is.
Okay, so I mean, where do you begin? At least try. Can you shave your belly? Women don't walk around with belly button hair.
At least stuff a fucking sock down your shit, man, and stop showing your fucking clit.
Yeah, and you got a beard. What is it?
This is 100% confused. This shit's gonna go away soon. I have a feeling.
The worst part about it is, dude, is if you look at history, and we have seen this before. We've seen it with the AIDS epidemic, right? We've seen what happened when people were pretty tolerant in the 70s of a lot of stuff. And then the 80s came around, and AIDS came around. And remember, Fauci blamed it on gay people, and they turned on them. They fucking turned on them fast. Oh, I hope they die. They deserve it. It's a gay disease, and all gays. And they turned on them really quick, dude. And I think we're headed in that direction again. You're messing with moms now. You're pushing them to a certain level. I don't see anything good that's going to come from this once the power is taken back. It's just going to, remember I always say the pendulum swings harder the other way? It's going to swing harder the other way. And there could be a lot of people living in dark times.
It's coming, man. Mm-hmm. It's coming. I heard some moron made a comment either today or yesterday, it's this week for sure, about how Texas is going to get us in another civil war. That's quite possibly the dumbest fucking statement I've ever heard. Who we fighting? Mm-hmm. We're not fighting our countrymen. Mm-mm. We're securing our border. That's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. That's not a civil war. That's a states' right issue to protect their citizens.
Yeah, Civil War started because the South had slaves. Certain states had slavery. And
who got us into that war primarily? What party?
Well, it would have been the Republicans, right?
The Democrats got us into that.
Lincoln was in office, and he was a Republican.
Right.
But what I was going to say is the South had slaves, and this is how it worked, and the North didn't. But you're seeing it now a little bit. The South, they're slave. They were, the Underground Railroad. They were escaping and going up north.
Right.
And what the North was doing, because they didn't believe in slavery, was not returning them. They're saying, well, no, sanctuary. Well, we're a union. We follow by your laws and respect your laws. You respect our laws. Bring them back. They're our property, right? For right or wrong reasons, that's how it went down.
That's how it was in the time.
That's how it was. I don't agree with it at all. I think it's terrible, but it is what it is. You see that today, and guess who's guilty of it? If you tell someone the same thing in a different fashion, though.
Do I have 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count?
Go ahead. I mean,
aliens.
Hey, there you go. Number 1. No, it's
illegal aliens.
It is when California tells kids that if you come to our place and you're from Texas and you come to California and your parents won't acknowledge that you're transgender or non-binary and you come here for your sex change, we will not tell your parents. They just said that. Seattle's doing it. California's doing it. And that is how the Civil War started.
I am not I'm actually very against suicide. However, if you're doing this to our children, kill yourself now. because you are too fucking stupid to live on your own.
Yeah.
Just fucking eat a bullet. As a matter of fact, I have a friend of mine that has created a toe trigger for shotguns. I can hook you up with a great deal.
Yeah, dude. It's but it's funny they would say Texas is doing that when it's clearly guys. If you don't, when Trump, remember when he said, "I'm coming after the immigrants. They're legal, and I want them out," and they put up sanctuary cities. Mm-hmm. That's how that starts. Is like the laws say this, and you're doing something different. And what happens is then Nebraska says, "Well, if Wyoming's not going to abide by our laws, then why are we part of this fucking union? I want to separate. I want to secede." And that's what started it.
Well, that's Texas. Their first their first case to secede from the nation was shot down by their Supreme Court, the Texas Supreme Court. There's another movement to try to secede, and I think it's probably with everything that's happening with the border, it's gaining a lot of traction.
Yeah, Texas has wanted to. I think California's wanted to before. Texas has always wanted to, but they don't want Texas to, and the main reason is because everyone knows what will happen. Texas is big enough to be its own entity, its own sovereign nation.
Yep.
And the understanding is that if Texas seceded, then all the money in this country would go to Texas. And then all the rest of the people would be stuck, and who would pay for all those taxes? They'd all be in Texas. That would make Texas one of the most powerful countries in the world. Sovereign nations.
Yeah.
And that's why they really don't want that to happen. Because that's rich people, despite the virtue signaling they like to do, they're fucking flying a coop if they can go to a place with lower taxes and better government.
It's obvious.
They're fucking gone.
Look at the mass exodus of California.
It's happened without them seceding. Imagine if they seceded and said, we have our own defense system. We're going to create, that would be the only way if they left. How would they defend themselves? They'd have to, I guess, rely on our protection like Canada does. But how would they really do it? And the only thing I could think is that they'd have to take some sort of weapons with them. It'd have to be done like that. They'd have to get something.
Well, the National Guard is owned by the state, so all of their equipment is state-owned. It's not federal. Mm-hmm. It's not enough, but it's a hell of a good start.
Yeah, but there's not a person around that wouldn't leave.
No.
I mean, rich people. It'd be unaffordable for us.
Think of all
they'd go down there and buy all the fucking land up, and you wouldn't be able to buy a 16th of an acre for under fucking $9 million. And that's what would happen. They would make it unaffordable. They would have no crime. All the fucking criminals would be here, and all the money would be there. And that's why they won't ever let Texas secede.
Well, I will never say never, because we are in uncharted waters for sure.
Well, they'd kill them. If they tried. At this point, we're so separated. There might have been a few years back. This has been going on for about 20 years now. It might have been feasible, but it never will. Lincoln says a country divided cannot stand. And
well, we're pretty close to fucking tumbling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's in unison.
Right.
It's not just one state leaving. And in that time, what we had, all the southern states wanted to get out.
Well, if
Missouri was one of them.
If that happens, I mean, it'll be a no-brainer. It'll be all these separate nations instead of states that are united. I know that sounded weird, but seriously, if the country falls, I mean, I would hazard a guess to say Rome's burning right now. It's not a total loss yet.
Yes, and that's why I feel we need, and I'm going on record as saying 4.5 more years of Joe Biden. We all need a good laugh. We all need to see that. Can you fucking see him? So they've already said it, right? Like I think they know Harris is going to be your president.
I think they're just waiting on him to die. They're not going to get him out of office. They're just waiting on him to die.
So I still think it's going to be Michelle. I stand by that. I think, everyone always says, well, she said, I've heard in interviews her say, I don't give a fuck about Biden. Two things. Said he'd never run for president. He did. He even took 4 years off. Used the excuse of his son's death. Then he runs for president. Then he says, I'm only going to do one term. And he didn't even hesitate to throw that hat back in the ring.
There's a meme out there, man. I saw it today, as a matter of fact, and I'm not going to waste time trying to find it, but it basically compared him to Hitler when he's saying Trump is evil and we need to get rid of him. And then they showed Hitler saying the Jews are evil, we need to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. But they're the party of tolerance.
Well, they're fucking geniuses. Like, you got to give it to them. They have managed.
I'm going to stop you because I don't think they're geniuses. I think the Republican Party has turned into a bunch of fucking cowards.
That too. The Republican Party rides on the idea of the most logical guy in the room is going to get the attention, and that's not the fucking case. AOC didn't get popular being the most logical person in the room.
Definitely not.
I mean, it's just, it's not the way it works. But
she's dumb as a brick, by the way. Yeah. There are so many videos on YouTube of her just getting her ass handed to her.
Yeah. She can't. Speaking of which, the Super Bowl's this weekend. By the way, go Chiefs! And I would like to point out that Joe Biden is not going to do the interview, which used to be a tradition. He didn't do it last year because it was on Fox, but he's not going to do it this year. And it's on, I think, CBS. Yeah, CBS. So that they're his friends, right? That's the corporate media. He's still not going to do it.
He can't speak.
Yeah, it's like they don't have COVID, but they're still hiding him in his basement. He could very well be on there. They are his allies. They are his friends. He's still not doing it. That was a tradition up until last year. I think Trump didn't do it because it was on NBC or something, but the year before, the term before that or whatever. But yeah, he's not doing it. They're just breaking precedents on this. So again, we don't get to hear him because they don't want him up there unfiltered. Right. You know,
he can't be off script.
He can't fucking talk.
No, he's got pudding in his head.
I want 4 more years of that.
I see what you're saying, but God, I don't know if we can handle another 4 years.
So here's what I want. I want every boy to be a girl, every girl to be a boy. Not my kids, of course, because I'm talking to them on a daily basis. I want, there's just so much I want from this next president. You know, I know he's going to be the next president.
By hook or by crook.
Yeah. Here's the scariest thing that I think about a lot. This is going to be crazy, whatever happens this year. But the more and more I see him stay in there, and if they don't take him out, a lot of people say they're stuck with him. I don't know if that's the case. If they don't take him out, that means they don't need to take him out. They know how bad he is.
Yeah. Ray Charles could see that shit.
Yeah. That means it just doesn't matter. And at that point, we're in trouble. Because that means you can quit. I've been saying for years, you can quit voting. But you can officially quit voting. Because your vote doesn't matter anymore.
We're already in trouble, man.
Yeah. But if they don't pull him, there's other demons at work.
So he's gotten in us into 3 wars basically already. You could call him a Cold War if you want. We talked about that. But they're at this point now they're shooting wars already. We lost 3 service members in the drone attack that we talked about, and that once you lose life, that's a war, man. I'm sorry. So he's going to drag us in with China, with freaking Iran and Russia. You got the Ukraine. We're back in Ukraine. You know, China's going to invade Taiwan here any day. He's not going to do shit about that. Or if he does, it's going to be a half-assed retaliatory strike only, and then we're going to suffer repercussions from that. Not only maybe politically, monetarily, but we're going to lose even more face on the world stage because look at the great paper tiger, right? All talk, no action. You've said for years you would defend Taiwan and you do shit. Mm-hmm. So that brings us right in with fucking China. And now the whole Houthi issue with their attacks are bringing us right into war with Iran. We struck them last week. Yeah,
I think if China takes Taiwan, there's no other way than we're in World War III. And I think you're right. They either take them this year, and if they don't take them this year, then that's scarier. And again, it goes back to my thoughts. I think he's compromised by China. I think he has been since day one. I think if they don't take Taiwan before the elections in November, that means that they know something that none of us do, and that means they know that Donald Trump's not winning the presidency. Joe Biden will be back in, and they have 4 more years to keep building up to what they want to do.
Right.
which I think that would be ideal for them, is to take some time, get that in play, wait for us to break down a little bit more. The more money we keep sending to Ukraine, now Israel, the weaker we get.
Well, China's ramped up military exercise in that area.
Right. I think it would benefit them more, though, to just sit back. And that's what I mean. I think it's not a good sign if they don't. It's not a good sign if they take Taiwan. It's not a good sign if they don't take Taiwan. Because if they don't take Taiwan, that tells you they know Joe Biden's going to be president again.
I think we all know that, man. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that Trump gets reelected.
No.
There's no way.
Well, he could get reelected.
He will not be back in that office.
He will not be back in that office.
No freaking way. And let me tell you what, because you brought up a great point earlier with the black vote in the country. If Biden wins in a landslide again, you can't tell me there's no fraud. You can't.
Well, there's definitely fraud.
Yeah, but I mean, mass scale.
Yeah, well, it goes on other. People will say election deniers, like you're an election denier. It's. I didn't say they stuffed the fucking ballots, and I don't think anybody said that's all they did. But when you influence people in one direction or another, you know, if you're on a building, I have two. You're going to jump, and I have two choices. I can talk you down, or I can say jump.
Three choices.
If I say, what's the other one? Blow me.
You know, you can push them off.
Oh, push them off. Yeah, I can do that. And I'm a murderer, and two of those choices makes me a murderer. The other one makes me a savior. There's no two ways about it, right? You're pushing it in one direction or the other. And if you're doing that, any sort of manipulation, you know, look at what they're doing now. If you think about this, I think they said Jack Smith's, his trial with Trump wouldn't start.
We got a comment in the room. Tech man, rigged. I agree. Hashtag rigged.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So 100%. But listen, so Jack Smith's trial won't start until June, I believe, right? His actual, when he starts to...
What about jack off?
Jack off. His trial against Trump won't start. It won't actually start, what's the word I'm looking for? Prosecuting him until June. So at that point, the election should be underway. And what I mean by that is because of their mail-in balloting, some people will have already voted for Biden or whoever it's going to be Biden, it's going to be Trump. They would have already cast votes for them. The Constitution says during an election, there should be no interference.
They don't care about the Constitution. Clearly,
but the Constitution says there should be no interference in an election. You shall not prosecute one nominee during that period, an election time, election year. Which is, there you go.
Well, I think it's tomorrow that the Supreme Court is going to hear the case of Colorado dropping, was it Colorado, I think, that dropped them off the ballot? They're going to hear the case.
That's not going to float. There's no fucking way that stands. They're going to throw that out. No way.
I've lost all confidence.
The Supreme Court's not going to pass that through. They're going to say, nice try. But all these are tactics.
Oh, of course.
They're tactics to make his run harder and harder and harder. If we constantly keep him on his heels, maybe he'll get tired of it. It's not working, which is going to leave him to the drastic steps I've been saying, right? So
you know, I want to go back to the whole. I'm forgetting her name because that's how insignificant she is to me. But the one where he just lost the trial, he's got to pay all that money. That chick,
Jean or whatever.
If you look at the women Trump's been with, and then look at her.
He even said, "Ooh."
Yeah. Do you think? I don't think for a second, because he's so narcissistic. I don't think for a second he touched that bitch.
Even if he did you see how they went around that? They changed the law in New York City. So, because the statute of limitations had run out, but they changed it for that specific year. I mean, it's totally rigged, the whole thing. They changed it so she could open that case again.
It is so obvious that they are using political means.
Well, come on, though. Once again, who's going to use the DOJ to prosecute his political enemies? Who?
Trump.
All right.
He's you know, his I don't agree with it, but I see where he's coming from. That motherfucker wants revenge.
Oh, I mean, he should have it.
I agree.
100%.
But he needs to do it in a way That's not going to implicate him. But at the same time, if he gets into office, that's his last term.
So
he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants.
People say, well, he shouldn't use his next term to do that. He should work on the country. Is Biden? But matter of fact, Biden's been so ineffective. The only thing, if you listen to him, any of his campaigns, it's Trump did this, Trump did that, Trump did this. He even tried blaming the border thing on Trump the other day, saying if it weren't for Trump, he held it up because the Republican Party won't go this way on it. Dude, he hasn't been a president in almost fucking 4 years, guy.
Right. Yeah. We got a comment in the room. You're closer. Can you read that?
Bring in the National Guard in every
precinct for voting, require ID, and see how it works. Yeah, I mean, you got to have a fucking ID to drive a car. You got to have an ID to write a check or cash a check. I mean, what's wrong with having an ID to prove that that's who you are?
Fuck, if you go get groceries, they ask you for your phone number and say, hey, would you like to use your reward card or whatever you got? Some people even carry reward cards. That's what I always thought was so funny is like, I can't do this shit. You can check people's wallets and they got every app. What about just a fucking app that has all that information in it, right?
Right.
You just file it in there. Dude, it's so hard. You know, like we were just talking about guns today, right? I was looking at another gun and I realized my ID was all fucked up. And I was thinking, fuck, I can't get a gun legitimately right now because of this. But yet I could go buy one out of a fucking trunk of someone's car right now and it'd be fine. I could probably pick one up on the border.
You could probably pick one up here. Anyway, yeah, dude, it's I don't understand the hang up with voter ID. Why people are so against it.
It's because remember they called it a racist thing because some people can't get IDs.
Horseshit. How do you not have everyone has a social security number if you're legal.
Like they don't give IDs. So when they say racist, I assume because whenever they say racist, they always mean black people. But by the way, that's racist. They never ever say Asians won't be able to get it. The Hispanics won't be able to get it. It's always fucking black people whenever they say that. Is if black people can't get along without them. They don't know what to do without these freaking Democrats.
It's so ironic that the Democratic Party touts to the black population when they are the most racist motherfucking people in the world. They're going to tell you whatever they want so they'll get your vote, and then they'll continue to fuck you and keep you down.
Yeah, it's like virtue signalers, dude. I have this whole new view of virtue signaling. If you virtue signaled today, you probably did something really fucking awful in the real world.
What about the videos of all the people dumping 30-plus ballots in a drop-off box when legally you can only submit one for you? Yeah, I'm not buying it. There's actually been... they have proven that there was fraud. But you know what? To be fair, there's fraud in every election. But on the level that we saw this last one is just ludicrous, man. And
yeah,
I learned a long time ago with being in the military. I had the choice to do a mail-in vote, right? They don't get counted. Half of them don't even get in till after the election. It's a sham, and it's a way of letting you feel like you're doing your part when it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So mail-in votes, you need, it's every 4 years. You can take a day. You can go there because you're going to go do whatever else you want. You go to McDonald's or Walmart or wherever the fuck else. You can take a day and go vote if that's what you want to do. And if you don't want to, then shut the fuck up. You don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, and it was always done that way before, Yep. That's how my wife does it. She goes and waits in line, I think last year for like 2-3 hours. So
Ron says videos don't count. It's all rigged. It is rigged both ways, Well, but it was on the internet, so it was true.
Yeah, and when you say rigged, there's so many ways it was rigged. It's rigged through media. It's rigged through newspapers. It's rigged through movies. It's rigged through, that guy that studies Google put together those algorithms where he says they sway 60,000 to 25,000 votes, and they're looking for the independents. They're not looking for Democrats or Republicans. They're looking for the independents. That's the votes that's going to win. So if you Google in, who's running, what are their policies, and then they'll redirect you. That's how they're doing it. Google's doing it like they redirect you to a Biden camp or Biden. Well, Joe Biden's doing this, and then you're influenced that way. That's rigging.
Well, that's exactly why I go outside of the United States for my sources. And I hate Google sure is an international company, but where are they headquartered? They're headquartered here, and they have agendas. But you're right. You're 100% right. It's anybody that works for that company can go in there and fix that like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another comment. I'm permanently read-only mode on Twitter. Last thing I said was Trump for speaker. That's funny.
Well, so if he, I would imagine that RFK, which I think this is a good sign, if he doesn't win, which he's not going to, if Trump were to win, he will be in some form involved in that administration. I would expect that Ramaswamy would be. So the good thing about it this time, if Trump were to get in, is you'd have, I think, a really decent administration.
Well, yeah.
A lot of good people involved.
Say what you will about Trump, he's not stupid. He's very smart.
No, he's not. And he knows a lot from his first 4 years.
Exactly. He learned hard lessons.
Yeah.
And he won't make the same mistake twice.
The Bolton one was a big one. He was told, I think there was a lot of big high. He'd watched too much Fox News. They need to shut the TV off next time. But,
stay off of Twitter, too.
He's not Joe Biden, so you're not going to be able to tell him what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And stay off of Twitter, by God. Jesus Lord. You know who I'd like to see just as pure comedic gold run is Jesse the Body Ventura. With all of his conspiracies and oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Jesse the Body. I don't know if you know this or not, there, Ryan, but I was the governor of the great state of Minnesota. I was also a Navy SEAL, and if you talk back to me, I'll punch you in the face, just like I did Chris Kyle.
Well, I was surprised he won Minnesota because there's no fucking way he'd win Minnesota today. No way.
That dude's so funny to me, man.
He's in Predator.
Yeah, he's movie. He was. He's old now, but he was a bad dude. But that's another narcissistic motherfucker, man.
Dude, you got to be narcissistic to do that line of work. You just have to be. The difference is how in control are you of it, right? Like, can you...
Well, the thing is most narcissists have no idea they're narcissists.
Right.
So you can't control it if you don't know.
But you got to know you're good at something. They know they're good at something. That's why they're in the game. You got to keep it level-headed, though. And a lot of people can't do that. Trump has a difficult time, man. It's funny a lot of the time, but you wonder sometimes, is he joking?
Right.
Right? Because
I tend to think that he is. And the only reason I say this is that he has a comedian's timing. Mm-hmm. So I think it may be like half joke but half truth with what he says, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's an entertainer, man. Let's face it. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. You're fired. Come on. Whatever. But dude, I'm so worried for the country, man. Either way, it's you're fucked. Either way, no matter who gets in, because you're just fucked. It'll be another if Trump somehow miraculously got back in the office, it'd be another 4 years of not getting anything done because he's too busy fighting off all the attacks. Yeah, and that's why
the future of Trump would have to be the first 4 years you ruffle some feathers, but you gotta be thinking, how does he set us up for the future? And that's why I think Vivek comes in.
That's a great question. He says, why did Milley not get canned? Trump was commander-in-chief and could have done it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer. Mm-hmm. Miley, whatever fucking traitor's name is.
That's a great one. There's a lot of shit, though, dude. There was... Fauci's another one, right? You can throw in, why wasn't Fauci let go? He should have been let go immediately. Granted, Biden would have hired him right back because he was playing the game. But there was a word that Trump was afraid of how the Democratic Party and the supporters would react if he just let that guy go. He admits it. He says, I was scared. I didn't know how it was going to happen. But he should have let him go. He just should have let him go. And I imagine the same thing, to answer his question, the same thing would have been with Milley. There's obviously some forces that we don't know about in there. Dude, and that's one of the great things is there's obviously a system. And it takes a lot of courage to fuck with it. And I think he was willing to fuck with it, but a lot of things he wasn't willing.
All right, Ron, have a good night, brother.
I think he was picking his battles a lot of the time. So,
well, I also think he surrounded himself, because he didn't know better, with poor advisors, advising him and not giving him the full
he didn't
skinny.
know. He didn't know. He's admitted as much. He said a lot of the people that he was putting on things he didn't know. Like Pence was a big one, you know? Yeah. And anybody noticed that he hasn't asked Pence to run be his VP again?
Oh, he hates Pence.
Right. But here's the thing. Everyone knew. Everyone knew he wouldn't ask him. Why? Like, of course he wouldn't. But no one ever brought it up, said he's not going to even entertain the idea. Pence seemed like Pence could speak well. He was kind of submissive a lot, but you're going to be like that. You're going to be like that with Trump. Dick Cheney was the complete opposite. That would have been fun to see those two guys in the same room together, Cheney and Trump, right?
Oh, God.
But he didn't even entertain the idea of him.
Shadow party running the show. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. It's been that way for years and years and years. It's the damn, it's all them rich bastards. It's
fucking
God,
Prince
man.
Charles. King Charles. Is it King Charles now?
Soon after the other dude fucking dies. Oh, wait. Charles is the one with cancer. Who's the one with cancer? Charles? I don't know.
Yep.
Fuck them
King
red
Charles.
coats. I don't give a shit about them. But anyway, what's the guy's, the one that's always, Soros, George Soros. He's pulling the strings, man. And people like him.
I think it's way bigger than him. Way, 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 way bigger.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
But he's involved.
I think it's on the other side of the world. It's that deep. It's big, big, big money. And if in a capitalistic system, you gotta have that.
He said never go hunting with Cheney.
Never. Didn't he blame that? He got that motherfucker to apologize for that, didn't he?
I don't know.
The guy got shot in his fucking face and he apologized to Dick Cheney.
I heard when you go hunting with Cheney, it's a blast.
The guy said, "I'm sorry for getting in the way of your shotgun show." I swear to God, did he fucking apologize to him?
Well, he either had a lot of dirt on him or Cheney paid that motherfucker off like it's cool.
Right? Fuck, it's crazy, dude.
Kind of reminds me of what sound does a shotgun make?
What?
Kobang.
Kobang.
Kurt Cobain.
What was the one? His eyes. I heard his eyes were blue.
One blew this way.
One
Yep.
blew that way.
Yep. There's my sick fucking twisted humor again. But yeah, it's funny how we just went right into politics.
Again, we were going to talk football tonight.
Yeah, we were.
Which would have been politics in a way because the politics are, states are governing, trying to get involved in that. We can do that next week. Probably better get ready to close it out here, I think. Right? It's 10 o'clock. I got to get my daughter.
Yeah, damn, it is already? Shit. Time flies when you're having
It does,
fun.
buddy. We kind of got here late, so it was kind of my fault. But
right. Whatever.
I had a good time talking about it. Yeah, we kind of get wrapped up into this, but it's been a big year, man. A lot of crazy shit going on. And we weren't real nostalgic tonight, other than the fact that, because we were supposed to be. We were supposed to talk about football, college football, how much we used to love it, how much the game's changed. Maybe we should do that next week.
We'll do that next week. But we did talk very, very briefly nostalgia, talking about when I was in high school and middle school.
Right.
So we covered it.
Yeah.
Checking the box, just like politicians.
we definitely didn't have tampon boxes in our fucking junior high restroom. That's crazy shit. Pull that picture up, seriously, dude. That fucking where they shove it in. I don't know if you can find it now or not, but it's a Connecticut middle school tampon box, and there should be like an image of it, right? But maybe not. Maybe you can't find it, dude. Sometimes I look for this shit and I can't find it because they pull it.
Let's see. This one here? Which one do you want me to?
I don't know, dude. It's actually in a toilet.
That's a tampon dispenser.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's shoved in a toilet.
Oh, let's see if there's. They probably won't show that. You probably can't find it anymore. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's it.
There it is. All right, let me give me a moment to save this and.
But look at them, dude. They just shoved that motherfucker in there. God bless them.
That's ridiculous, man. Unbelievable.
How about those kids, right? How about those kids doing a good fight, right? Fuck that shit.
That's awesome. Good on them, man.
Yeah.
Proud of them. Proud of them. Give me 1 second, y'all, and I'll show it to you. I'll show you the picture here. But what the hell is wrong with our country, man? What the tampons in a boy's bathroom? What do you want them to shove them up their ass or what? Do you see that? I don't know where that picture went.
But why would those be in there?
There's no good reason.
It's to fuck with the truth.
Yeah, there's no good reason. I don't know where I put that motherfucker. Oh well, some other time, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, it's a fucking tampon box shoved in a toilet. Just use your imagination. It's good.
It shouldn't take much, that's for sure, to use your imagination. Although, how old were that? Was a middle school?
Yeah, Connecticut.
Good on them kids.
Yeah, they ripped it out, I guess, all the way down to the studs.
Good. I'd be so proud of Liam if he did something like that.
Oh, dude, me too. You could suspend my kid. You could expel my kid. I'd be like, fuck you guys. We were leaving anyways.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Fucking break something on the way out.
Go ahead, suspend them. You know, you're teaching bullshit anyway. We'll find another school or we'll homeschool them.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that, which could be the plan too, dude. Maybe they don't want the money to go to schools anymore. Maybe they want the money.
They always want the money. But anyway, hey, dude, this was awesome, man. This was a good conversation. Thanks to our listeners tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for participating. And I guess, well, shit, we'll talk about football next week then.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. All right, everybody. Good night.
Good night.